talk about that. Like after that Stanford experience or anything else that you want to mention that helped you, how did you kind of progress and what was your thought process now? Like what were you looking at and how did you actually end up at UH?
So I don't know how much you know about visa situation for international or immigrant people.
Mm-hmm.
We have a restriction on working visa. So you have to, in order to work in the States, you have to get this working visa.
Okay.
So if you go to school, let's say if you go to undergrad, you get 1 year of permit basically
Got it.
after you graduate. So I used that 1 year permit
Got
to
it.
work at Stanford. But that was expiring after my seasonal intern.
Okay.
So I was looking for somewhere who can sponsor my visa, but it's really hard because as a newly certified with less experience,
Mm-hmm.
not many schools want to sponsor you.
Got it.
So my option was either going back to Japan or go back to school in the States again.
Yes.
So, but I wanted to stay in the school. I wanted to stay in the America and pursue my dream of working in a basketball league. And I was looking around some GA positions, and one of the assistant athletic trainer at Stanford, she actually graduated from UH.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so she was doing a residency at the Stanford. So she helped me. She actually talked to Lynn. I found out they had a GA position open. So she helped me get that GA position after Stanford. Yeah.
Got it. And have you ever been to Hawaii before?
No. Yes, I knew about Hawaii. Hawaii is close to Japan. Everybody from Japan wants to go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
I hear about it, but I've never been. I'd never been to Hawaii before that.
Oh, got it. Yeah. So then, okay. So you through these connections and you needed to go back to school, right? To extend it's a student visa, right? At that point. Yeah. So when you did that, you applied and then you came here and you were the football GA for UH, which is a Division I program. We're not your big five, Power Five program, but we're still Division I, and you get exposure to a lot of different things too, being at a Division I program. So when you first came to UH, what were you expecting? And, especially coming from Stanford to UH, that's going to be a big difference in the amount of resources we have. But what was what did you want to pursue and what were some of your thoughts and expectations coming to UH?
Yeah, it was, I remember it was it was a lot different because at Stanford, we had a huge amount of staff members just for football team. And I always wanted to make sure to keep the hierarchy system within the sports medicine. So going back to, from Stanford to Hawaii, we don't have that many staff members. So I was actually the head athletic trainer, Wongi, let me do a lot of stuff. He gave me a lot of responsibilities and I was able to do, in my own way, sort of with his guidance sometimes. And so it was a lot different, but it gave me autonomy. I was on my own and I was able to make decisions. And I got to talk to coaches, which you don't get that experience at the D1 school as a GA,
Yes.
As a GA, you don't get to talk to coaches a lot of times. So that was really helpful. Yeah, I mean, I loved it. I enjoyed it. But even though it's a lot of work working for, a football team at the college, but looking back, it helped me a lot.
Yes. So when you came here and what was I know you were a kinesiology, master's student, but were you in the post-professional athletic training or were you in another one of the tracks?
No, that year, actually, they got rid of post-professional.
Oh, okay.
But they didn't have the post-professional program anymore, but they still had the few classes that was in the post-professional.
Yes.
So I took those classes.
Got it. So now you're back in study mode and also working, I want to say more than part-time, pretty much full-time with football, right? And what was it like coming from California to Hawaii? Like the lifestyle, I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate because I would think we're the closest to what Japan is like, but what was that experience like for you?
No, I loved it. I would love to go back as soon as possible. I actually got into surfing like other people do, So I loved it. The food is great. It reminded me of home. You can eat like a lot of Japanese food.
Yeah.
It's really accessible. So it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And that's good to hear that, you got this experience, and it's funny how your path kind of comes back, and then, you get these experiences along the way. So you were at Hawaii for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And worked 2 consecutive football seasons. So what were some of the, up to this point in your career, because you haven't been working as much basketball, right? But as you kind of alluded to, a lot of these experiences really help you to this day when you're in that basketball environment or setting. So if you think back, like everything from undergrad, from your experience at Stanford, at UH, what were some of the big lessons that you learned that maybe future aspiring athletic trainers can kind of think about, or give them some words of wisdom or advice? What were some of the big lessons that you've learned up to that point at UH?
I mean, this is nothing about clinical stuff, but looking back, I had long-term goal, but I always took whatever was in front of me. It might not be what you want to do, but it helped me looking back, in the long run. So whatever opportunity came up in front of me, I took those opportunity. And I think it's really important things to kind of develop your career. Every opportunity, I got to Stanford, it helped me a lot. Like, it's not basketball, but you can learn at least something from those experiences anywhere you go. So that's something I would advise other people. Like,
no, I mean, that's a great message. And I think, just because everything, you can apply it to whatever setting or whatever career goal you have. All of those experiences, there's overlap. There's ways that it translates into what you want to do. So, as you were at UH, see, I didn't even know this. We were see each other at the football games and stuff, but it's so hectic that, there's no time to really sit down and talk and all of this. But it's interesting to hear now that you always aspired to be a basketball athletic trainer, not only any setting, but at the NBA level, right?